Good morning, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Open Office Hours. I'm Crystal Hinkle. I am part of the team here at Syncro. I will let the ladies introduce themselves.
Hey, everybody. It's Tatiana. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brandy, part of the team here at Syncro.
Hey, everyone. It's Hannah. Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday. I mean, I don't know where the week went. I hope you all had a wonderful week and start to your February. So this is Open Office Hours. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, welcome. We try to cover a lot of ground here in Open Office Hours. You'll find it's pretty quick paced. We use the Q&A. So if you see us looking or glancing at another screen, that's where we're kind of fielding all of the questions that are coming in. And again, if you're new, please don't hesitate to ask whatever questions you have. It doesn't matter if it's how-tos or workflows or best practices, whatever questions you came with today, don't hesitate to drop those into the Q&A. We're happy to answer. And if you'll know if you're a returning guest, and thank you if you are returning. If we don't know the answer, we'll tell you. we won't make it up. So thank you for joining us. We're really excited because we have an awesome guest. Again, we've had Carla on Open Office Hours before. She's joining us again today from our technical support team. And we are super excited because she is going to follow up. Frank was with us last week and did automated remediation, a deep dive. Today, she's doing ticket automation. So kind of gives you the full scope of those awesome automations that you can do in Syncro. So Carla, if you're there, I kind of want to hand it on over to you.
Hey, Crystal. Hey, everybody. Glad you can make it. How's everybody doing? So I'm just going to hop right in here. Let me share my screen with you. And we'll get started on ticket automations. All right, so to get to the ticket automations, you're going to do that from the admin screen. You go down to the ticket section, and then under ticket automations. A couple of things to note about ticket automations is that they run about every 2 hours. They will only run about 10 times. So that way, if you have something that says, like, if a ticket is new, it'll run every 2 hours as long as that ticket is new. And you might get an email or however you set that up. And then after 10 runs, it'll stop because we don't really want to be bugging you every 2 hours for the rest of your life. And because we don't want to Syncro bugging you every 2 hours for the rest of your life, one of the caveats is that you cannot do a ticket where the status is resolved, because theoretically, a status is going to be resolved forever. Right now, the resolved status is still available. So you just don't want to select it because it's not going to do anything for you. It's actually a dead condition. So I just wanted you all to know that. So let's jump right in and we'll create a ticket automation. So we're going to create a new one. So first we have the conditions. Oh, and I need to move my window here. So first we have the conditions. This is, what do I want this to trigger off of? And we have a whole list of conditions that we can trigger off of. What is the assigned SLA? Due date is passed. This one's used a lot. This one alerts you that a due date has passed. A lot of people get emails for themselves for that. If it has a contact. Another one that's highly used is if the status is in a specific state, especially the status waiting on customer. A lot of people I've seen use this. They'll do it if the status is waiting for customer, to send the customer an email. If the ticket type is a certain type, you might want an email or some kind of SMS alert. So for today, we're going to do the most common one I see, which is ticket status. And the ticket status is waiting on customer. So basically what I'm going to build here is an email to the customer and a note to myself that an email is sent to the customer. So if this ticket status is waiting on customer and which one is, and the due date has passed. So we're waiting on them and something's, that just hold up. So the due date has passed and we're waiting for them on something. We're going to send them an email. So here we have the actions. So if any of the things up here are true, what do we want to do? in this case, we want to send a customer or the contact an email. And one of the beautiful things that we can do here in the actions is we can use tags. Here's the full list of tags available for these. So for this example, I'm going to use the tag ticket _ number. Our tags are always preceded by and followed by the curly brackets. Is waiting for your response. And then you can type in any here. You can, and if you want to BCC, maybe you want to BCC yourself or somebody else in the company. And then, hey, hope this finds you well. And then again, you can add in any other tags like the ticket subject. You might want to put that in the body just as a reminder to them about the ticket that you're working on. And you can create as many actions as you want to. So we're going to send the customer an email. We're going to assign it to me because maybe I'm the head technician. So I want to make sure that I get this and I'm going to follow up with them. So that is a quick and easy way to do ticket automations. Again, there's all these conditions. The only one you don't want to use because it's not going to do anything is where the ticket status is resolved. I have seen people use, they'll create an additional status that's like pre-resolved so that they can go in here, maybe do some work around resolved. And then once that action is done, oh, that's what actually we'll do that. We'll do just real, let's see if I can do this in theory. So it would be like in a pre-resolved state, and then the action would be that you can change the ticket status, update ticket, and ticket status 2, maybe then we're going to resolve it. So that is something that I've seen people get around when they want to use the resolved. I think that is going to be it for my quick deep dive. And with that, I will pass this back to the team.
This was so good. Thank you very much for doing this, Carla. Very much appreciated. I just wanted to make sure I'm trying to see, I just want to make sure we're getting any questions that are related to automation. I think I see one that just came in. Just to clarify, if we have a ticket automation to email the customer, will it email them every 2 hours? Is there a way to change the time period?
At this point, it will email them every 2 hours as long as all of the conditions are still true. So you may want to add something in there that negates the condition. So if the condition is waiting on customer, you can then send an email and change the status to, you know, emailed customer or something, you know, some custom status that you want to use.
Awesome. Okay. Yes, that's very helpful. And then I usually say this at the beginning, but just so everyone knows, this is recorded. So if you want to reference this back, it usually posts either today or Monday. So just letting you know that if you missed anything and you want to come back, it's definitely going to be on the YouTube channel too. Do you want to go ahead, Brandy?
Sure. Yeah, I have a couple in here, so I'll go ahead and tackle the 3 in here. The first one is from David, and he says, when creating an invoice, I would like to have the option to add all tickets by date, like all tickets for the last month. So, and I think what you're referring to is when you're just creating a one-off invoice, having that option, it is going to show you, if I go to create an invoice for a customer, it is going to show you all pending ticket charges for that customer. And you can choose if you want to add them, but it doesn't say by date. But what you could do, and what I would suggest doing, is just setting up a recurring invoice for this. It's meant to be set it and forget it to make your life so much easier. And you can create a recurring invoice for anyone. And you could just say, monthly, I want to pull in any tickets that have been resolved. Or if you just want to do, you know, any pending tickets, you can do that. So this is where I would recommend doing it. And again, if you choose this, it's just going to gather those tickets for you and send it off to the customer automatically. So that's what I would recommend doing. I think it's the easiest way. And again, it's set it and forget it. It doesn't require you to have like a billing person to do that, or for you to spend the last day of the month doing it. So we want to save you some time there. And then I also see a question in here from Pete. So does the software allow to be installed on Big Sur. So just to be fully transparent, we have seen that. We have seen some issues. I think it's pretty safe to say that at the time, the agent doesn't work on it. Just based on the technical support tickets that I've seen and kind of the advice there. And then it's not to say you can't install it, but probably wouldn't. And then I see another one from Mitchell. So can we force a ticket workflow when a customer is creating a ticket in the portal? You can't from the portal, but I do want to show you something else, because I always get this question for people who are like, I want to give the customer the option to choosing what type of ticket it is. If you actually allow them access from their system tray icon to create tickets, that's a workaround. So when you create these agent contact forms, you can actually make like a little workflow. So if they choose emergency, then I'm going to make sure that it is this specific issue type, or that it's this certain custom field, right? That might bring in like my emergency ticket checklist or something. So you could make different agent contact forms. And then what I'll show you what it shows up for the customer, but it does allow for a little bit of a different workflow, is you can give them options for multiple different agent contact forms on their system tray icon. So if they're clicking there, they can create a ticket. So I have agent contact form and I have emergency ticket. They're both ticket generating, but they both trigger different things on the back end. So that's what I would recommend doing if you want to give them access to that. Hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandy. I'm going to grab this one from Mark. When I create a ticket, is there a way to remove the CC under the email button on the communications box? So let me just share my screen. And if anyone has anything to add here too, maybe I might be reading the ticket wrong. So I just wanted to kind of like go over a couple things. So if you have your main customer, obviously is going to be communicated with on this ticket. If you have an assigned contact, this will be a CC. So to my knowledge, to not have it CC the contact, you would have to remove the contact from the ticket. And so that's really the only way I know how to, when you're emailing from here, not have it go to the CC. You'd have to remove them from the ticket. And again, if you ladies have anything to add there, but I think that is answering that one. From William, I wanted to grab this. Is it possible to make profiles inherit settings? So really great question. I think this comes up a lot. What a lot of MSPs are wanting is that inheritance from like a master policy, parent-child relationships, and we are working on it. So it's not available as of today, but we definitely are working on it. You know, I understand this is like a complete workaround. This is not like answering your inherent like specific question, but I will just say, you know, we do have the different modules. So some of the things that do take more intricate settings, you know, you can have different process and service monitoring that with a click, you can add that to a policy. So, you know, we did try to separate some of those modules out to make that a little bit easier, but we are working on that. So that's exciting. I thought I grabbed one more, but maybe I didn't. Okay, I'll pass it along.
I'll hop in here. From Brianna, the question is, I do not have the checkbox selected for hidden comments in the notification center, but we are still getting them. So where else do these come from? And is there a way to turn these off? I'm not sure exactly which settings you're talking about and the alerts that you're getting, but generally if you've removed those out of notification center and you're still getting them, I would check in the ticket settings. In the additional settings, there's a little button for additional settings. Go ahead and click that and drop that down. Possibly under customers. There are also some emails that go in, that'll go to the admin automatically. We don't have a way to shut that off. So depending on exactly what you're talking about here, it's either ticket settings, customer settings, or it's one of the settings that's a little bit unchangeable. If you have further questions on that, go ahead and type them in. And then I had one other one from Aaron. Even though it's not really slow, are there any plans for mobile app development in the works? Missing simple things like asset name on the ticket. I know that this is something that we continue to look at. I don't know of any plans exactly, but this is important and it's a popular request and we will continue to look at it. And with that, I will let somebody else talk.
Awesome, super helpful. Thank you so much, Carla. I have a question here from Joel. He says, are there any plans for a Linux agent? I think we will release one after the Mac agent. We don't have a specific ETA. We don't have a specific time frame or things like that. In the meantime, one of our team members actually did do a deep dive on SNMP monitoring. I just dropped all those details into the notes there. And again, that is what some of our MSPs are using to still monitor certain triggers, is using SNMP monitoring. Again, no specific time frame on a Linux agent, and if it were to happen, probably after the Mac comes out of beta. I'll also grab the second question here from Brandon. Is this session just for help desk side? Will there be anything for RMM we're looking to switch? Well, we're glad you're looking. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Definitely any and all questions are welcome. It's not specific to just the PSA today. We don't have a, other than Carla doing a great job introducing us to ticket automations, we don't have a set schedule of what we're going to discuss today. It's completely dependent on what questions you guys have for us. So Brandon, if you have specific RMM questions, please drop them into the Q&A section and we'll be happy to address those for you.
Thank you. Awesome. Emily has a question. Is there a way to merge multiple tickets into one ticket at once? I don't see anything under bulk actions. I am going to share my screen and show what Emily is referring to. So here, when we're looking at all of our tickets, if we select multiple tickets here and we look under bulk actions, there we go. There currently is not a way to merge multiple tickets all at once. The current thing that you can do is edit the status, technician, add public comments and private ones. You can also delete the selected ones. Currently, the merge is going to be in the individual ticket, and I'll go ahead and show that. And so here under the actions button, you could go ahead and merge this ticket. And then you just need to select the destination ticket that it does go to. I have one other question here. The other question is from James. What ticket report and current configuration in the ticket system do you recommend to be able to show a breakdown of billable/non-billable time and ticket custom attributes? So kind of along the same lines, I'm going to be here in the report section. And so the specific report I'm going to look at is the ticket time entry. And so here, what that looks like is this report here, where it's going to show you the date, duration, the specific entry, whether it's billed or not billed, the specific ticket, and then that way it's easily clickable, the specific customer, and then the employee as well. Just to also note that in your main ticket view, you can, with these buttons here, go ahead and search by specific status or issue priority type or tech. And then you can also group your tickets very easily there as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah. I've got a couple in here. And two, I just want to make a note. It just shows up as anonymous to us, but if you want to pop your name in there, it does help us whenever we're following up with you. Like if we do have a question that we're not able to answer today, we'd love to be able to email you. So if you want to change that, you absolutely can. But we don't currently list of all of our actively worked on feature request lists or anything like that. The best place for that would be to either join our subreddit or our Syncro MSP users Facebook group. If you are currently trialing Syncro or a subscriber of Syncro, what's great about those groups is we do a community-driven track. So I think every couple weeks they make a post. You can put your feature requests in there. You can see everyone else's requests, upvote, downvote, things like that. So I would suggest joining that. And we do choose a new feature. It seems like it's been every week lately, shipping a new feature from that list. So I would recommend joining one of those groups, but I promise every time you email feature requests or let us know, we do pass those along to the team. And then Mitchell's asking, are we able to restrict specific customers to certain techs? We have a customer of ours, which we provide IT services to their customers in junction with their small IT team. We would like to access their customers and tickets through our portal, but we do not want them to have access to ours. So let me share my screen because I do have a fix for you. And I think especially in this day and age with everything that's going on, we have a lot of MSPs RSPs that have a customer that might have an internal IT department as well. So what we would recommend for those, because currently we either have single customer permissions, so they have access to just one customer, or to all. So if you do have a client that has an internal IT department, what I would recommend doing, set them up as another user inside of the system. But what you can do is you have single customer permissions. So instead of the 200 and however many options that your internal technicians have access to, you can give them access to just one customer, and you have about 29 permissions. You're able to see all of their tickets and such, but they cannot see yours. So I would recommend setting them up as another technician. And again, this is single customer permissions that you have inside of your security groups. Let's see, I'll go ahead and grab a couple others in here. So Pete, I think I did send you an email on this, but currently when you're running a report, it's not going to show you if the device is online or offline on the patches of it, on vulnerable systems, or available KBs, missing patches by KB. That's not available, but we can pass that along to our team as a suggestion. And then Joel, we do have an SNMP OID recipe doc that we can drop. I can find that in a few seconds and drop that in the chat box for you. I would recommend checking that out. Then you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's quite a few recipes in there for you. I think I've got one more. Anthony, so are there plans to implement SNMP v3? I have actually heard that this is something that we will likely implement. I think they are working on it. I don't have an ETA, so don't hold me to that, but it's definitely been brought up and it's been talked about internally.
Is it my turn? I didn't know. Go talk.
I got so excited to answer a couple more questions that I was at the bottom of the list instead of looking at the top where I'm supposed to be, because the next question is mine. Sorry about that. Okay, I have a question here, and I might mispronounce your name. I think it's Aguilar Jose. He says, when SNMP came out, it was mentioned that we would also be getting the ability to push the Syncro agent installation out to workstations on the network that do not have Syncro installed yet. Is that still on the roadmap? I'll share my screen here real quick. I will not say if it is on the roadmap or not, because I do not know. So I cannot share that information with you. What I can do is I'll show you an integration that we recently launched. If you guys haven't taken a look in the App Center within the last couple of days, we do have some pretty exciting additions here. One of them is Domots. If you guys have not used Domots previously, I actually believe we just did a webinar with them, right, Crystal? So we probably will either have that on the YouTube or it's there already for you guys to take a look at the YouTube channel. So again, with Domots, this is something, again, I'm not saying it's not going to be built into Syncro, but if you need an answer now and you need this for deploying to a new customer that you cannot get on location to, you could use Domots. They do network probing, topology, network mapping. Again, this is how you can use how you can deploy the Syncro agent via the network, since we do not yet have it built in. Again, I do not know if it's coming soon or anything like that, but hopefully that is helpful to you. And I think the next question below that is not mine, so I will let you take over.
Okay, I'll go. All right, Aaron, for automated remediation alerts, not tickets, is there a way to edit the ticket type custom field, not the type? So I think that there's a couple things here. Let me share my screen. And maybe I'm reading this in a different way. So I'm looking at automated remediation. When an alert comes in, I know it says alerts, not tickets, but then it says, is there a way to edit the ticket type? So I think when an alert comes in, you have your issue type, but you also have the custom field type here as an option. So again, if I'm not answering your question, please let me know. But you do have those a bit available to customize both of those. Let me keep going down. Another one from Aaron. I know there's an IT Glue integration and it's more than just documentation, but I'd love to use the documentation center. It seems to me like it's not in use or development much more. Any idea if that's anywhere on the roadmap? And separately, is it possible to link documentation pages to assets or customers? Okay, so couple things. This is something that I know we have plans for. I'm not seeing this anywhere in Q1. Our integration, as you know, with IT Glow is pretty great, but let me just show you here. If you create a documentation page for a customer, it automatically links that to the customer. Oops, where did I go here? I got a little bit click happy there. Okay, so if you, on the customer detail record, you've got your documentation links right here. So when you're creating documentation, it'll link here, as well as you have the ability to share that to the customer portal as well. So hopefully that helps. And I do know that this is something that we want to kind of continue to look into as far as development goes as well. The other one that I was going to grab here is from Brandon. So welcome. Wants to know, how are we better than Ninja RMM? Any features that Syncro has that Ninja doesn't? Great question. I absolutely love getting this question. So I think the main difference is that we're a combined RMM and PSA platform. So what that really means, I like to kind of like go a little bit further also is, you know, if you're an MSP, you most likely have an RMM and a PSA. And a lot of times they don't talk to each other because it's either different partners that are integrating together or, you know, whatever that looks like. But Syncro was built together from the ground up. So the level of automation that you can achieve from the RMM to the ticketing system and then integrated billing. So not only does Syncro just have the built-in ticketing system, you can set up full reoccurring billing. So I love the example of in Syncro, you can set, you know, a certain policy that's alerting on a thing that will automatically create a ticket. You can have a script running that like remediates that issue, but also can log time in the ticket, create an invoice, close the ticket, clear the alert. You can do that all while you're sleeping. So it's absolutely incredible. So speaking to that, just because I know obviously Ninja is just an RMM. So on the RMM side, if you're actively trialing Syncro, I would dive headfirst into our scripting engine. It's absolutely amazing, especially with the built-in PowerShell module, the things that you can do, read or write to custom fields. Again, those things like log time in a ticket, it's pretty dang amazing. And then on top of that, again, I'll wrap up my little pitch here, but I love this question. But the integrated billing, that's ridiculous. Not only do you have, again, this full RMN that integrates seamlessly to your ticketing system, you can automatically bill out of the same system. Your customers can pay from their portal. It's absolutely incredible, the level of efficiency you can gain with a combined RMN and PSA. So
I just want to make a little addition to that. It looks like some other users are giving some input into I think you guys can see all the Q&A. So Paul, thank you. And Aaron, they're giving some of their own advice too on why one over the other. So, you know, you can read the Q&A.
Nice. I love that. I love when the community helps out a little bit on that too. I appreciate that because, you know, obviously I'm a bit biased. Everyone knows that I have a deep love for Syncro. So it's nice to hear our users, you know, say those things as well.
Open office hours, of course.
Yes. While I'm unmuted, I'm just going to grab, I think I have one more that I grabbed from Jake. We have integrations with a few accounting suites. So we do have integrations with Xero, QuickBooks Online, and Desktop. Any plans to integrate with Wave Accounting? Jake, I haven't seen this on the roadmap anywhere. We have been servicing these feature requests though. So we will add your vote there.
All right, I believe I'm up. The next question is from Anonymous. In vulnerability reports, it shows patches not installed. However, Microsoft uses roll-up patches. For example, if I patched this month, but the client missed a patch from 2 months ago, it still shows up in the vulnerability report, even though this month roll-up patch is installed and patched the issues the patch from 2 months ago resolved. Is there a better way to run this? Unfortunately, that is kind of how we do things until that machine, we actually pull what that machine is saying it needs. So if that machine still says it needs something from 2 months ago that it doesn't see got rolled up, Our reporting can't see that. This is something that I need to put onto our list of things to look at, because it will do that automatically. There isn't a better way for you to do that on your end. And then Brianna had a follow-up to the one we discussed earlier. So I created a ticket today, put our 2 other techs as CC, and one of them clocked into the ticket using the app. The other tech received an email saying that a hidden comment was added to the ticket, basically the notification that the first tech clocked in. In our notification center, I do not have the checkbox enabled for a ticket. A hidden comment was added to this ticket. So why are they getting a notification for this, and how do I turn it off? It sounds like it is actually that the tech that got the notification may be an admin, maybe like the admin email address. If they are not the admin on your account, and they are not the assigned tech on that ticket, it sounds like there might actually be an issue. And if you want to email us in at help@syncromsp.com, we'd be happy to help look at that. Next.
Thank you so much, Carla. I have a question here from Anonymous, so mysterious. Question is there an easy way to move an asset from one customer to another? Yes, there is. I will show you how to do that very quickly. We go over to our assets in our MIBS section. You can go ahead and just select the asset, multiple assets if needed, manage, and change customer. What I see a lot of MSPs doing is sometimes maybe you know which assets they are, or if you're maybe 2 companies are merging together, you can also create a saved asset search. And we do now have the ability to filter by customer. This is a brand new field. This was asked for a very, very long time. So now you can filter by customer, find all of their endpoints that way, select all, and then again, move them to a different one. So that is how you would do it.
Awesome. Thanks, Tatiana. I have a couple in here that have to do with reporting, so I'm going to jump around a little bit. James is asking, he said, additional question from my last about ticket reports. You showed great reports internally, but I'm hoping for some more customer facing with pie charts or graphics to make it easy to consume and understand. So let me just share my screen with you. We have a couple really, really great reports in here for this. So what I would recommend using, and there are going to be some, let me just go into the reports here. There's definitely going to be some reports about like a customer detail report, which I can show them. I can type in any customer in any date range and I can run this. This is going to show some different charts and graphs for you. And of course, it'll also break it down by ticket time and if it's billable or not billable. So you could use this one and you can schedule this and send that to your customer on a regular basis. But we also have this little fancy executive summary report builder. You're going to be able to choose, and I apologize, mine's a little silly looking. I went through and I just put everything on here. So I wanted to show everything you could put on a report. So there are going to be different like text examples. There's also going to be different little charts and graphs that you can have here. So you can choose, of course, if you're only using one part of the system, you don't have to include the ticketing if you're just using the RMM, etc. But there are some really nice different modules that you can add to the executive summary report. And then of course you can also schedule these too. So I would play around in the report section. I would just go under the customers and that's where you're going to find most of those. I also had a question in there while I'm here about bringing it down a little bit more by like team performance. So, and forgive me, I'll address you by name in a minute, but I did see like average response time by tech. So what this is going to be, this is called Domo Analytics, and this is included in our advanced tier. If you go to our website and you look at our pricing, we have 3 different tiers. The MSP tier is what most of you are probably on. The advanced tier gives you some really nice internal reports. So team performance type reports, I can click into average time to response or to resolve, and this breaks it down by technician as well. So there's a lot of different team performance internal type of reports here. I would recommend playing around with Domo Analytics. If you'd like to get some more information on that, we can also drop the KB there for you. So I did see that in here, and then I'll just also see if there's anything else while I'm unmuted. I don't think so. Oh, Carlos, yes. So any plans to add a formal project management module, which would make it a full-fledged PSA? I think eventually, yeah, we would really love to build everything internally without having to, you know, work with another app like to integrate it. We want to build everything internally, right? So do I think that's going to come? Yeah, I do. I can't give you a date though. But what I can show you are some different ways to maybe work around this. So what I would recommend doing is inside of tickets, you can have different labor rates. You guys know there's different labor rates. So I might have a labor rate that is specific to project labor. And then what you could do, because right, this could be an all you can eat customer that isn't charged for standard labor, but project labor, absolutely they are. So I have a contract that overrides any other labor. And now I'm adding project labor here. So anytime I'm going to log in the ticket, I'm going to make sure that this is project work instead. But you can also use these different worksheets. So I really like these worksheets for certain ticket types that you're going to work on pretty often, for onboarding new customers, and also for projects. So you can have a specific worksheet for this project that allows you to come in and go through your little checklist of different items that you need to accomplish. If multiple people are working on this, it's going to let you know the technician that completed the work, as well as a timestamp down below of when this was completed. You also could do it for like, if there's a worksheet on a ticket, it has to be 100% complete before resolving the ticket. So this is a little workaround, but I would definitely use worksheets. I would use custom field types, and I would utilize different labor rates for projects. So hopefully that helps.
Thank you, Brandy. Chris has a question. We're hiring an intern. That's awesome, Chris. And he will be an hourly guy. Is there a clock in and out feature like a time clock built into Syncro? Yes, there is. I'll go ahead and share my screen. So where you're going to find that is underneath probably your name here. There's going to be a time clock feature there. And so then you're able to have that intern go ahead and clock in and out. And then there is a report around that time as well. And so under employees, there'll be a time clock report that you could go ahead and see that time in and out. I have one more from Mark. Is there a way to set up inbound and outbound email address for support tickets? Example, support at my domain, so customers can email it and I can respond to tickets from that email. So in your admin section where I am right now, at the bottom, there is going to be an email option where there's going to be email boxes. You can currently only set one outbound email box, but you can have as many as you'd like in terms of inbound. If we go in to check these out, that you could go ahead and give it a mailbox display name, have your email address support at your domain, help at your domain. You can automatically create tickets from this mailbox, either never if so, but always, and then also only for existing customers. You could go ahead and set autoresponders that are in the email templates. You can also create your own autoresponders and then even make different ones for those that are after hours. You can actually set issue types as well as set specific ticket statuses, and then also assign those tickets from that mailbox to a specific technician as well. In the mailbox feature, you also want to check out those email rules. That way, if you want specific incoming emails to go ahead and either auto assign to a specific customer or even auto create a contact underneath that customer, that you're able to do that. And then I have one more just about the subreddit from Anonymous. And so I did drop that into the chat box, and then that way you guys can go ahead and check out the new Syncro subreddit.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Super helpful. I have a question here from Pete. Is there a network crawler to go out and install across clients on a local area network in the works? Again, I think this is specific around network discovery. I did already share briefly. If you take a look in our App Center, we do have a new app in there, Domots, and also kind of since we're here, I had a question from David about if I can talk about pricing around Domots. Please keep in mind, guys, anything in our App Center here, we do not bill you for. We don't have any platform fees, integration fees, setup fees, super secret hidden fees. The only thing that we will bill you for through Syncro is going to be on a per user basis or per tech basis. So for you and your team who need access to Syncro, that is all we will ever bill you for. Same thing in our App Center. The only ones that we do have pricing for is if you chose to use Bitdefender, Webroot, or MCSoft, we do bill you for those through Syncro. Everything else is bring your own license, set up with us for free. So again, I checked our YouTube channel. The Domots webinar is not posted yet, but it will be shortly, knowing how hard our team works and how quickly they get things done. So I know it will be posted soon. And again, if you're curious, I know that they do offer a free 21-day trial. So if you're curious about them, if you want to test them hand in hand with Syncro, you can do that. But again, negotiating pricing and the details around that, I would go directly to those companies and then bring that license and set it up with us for free.
All right, thank you, Tatiana. Aaron, is there a way to get sound or visual alerts on the chat tab? I know it does a sound once, but if it's open on your browser, it won't ever sound indicate again. At this time, there is only the one sound. There isn't a way to add more in. You might be able to add in something via the API. I haven't tested that. I haven't tried that. It might be doable, but inside of Syncro, we don't have that availability just now. And then a question from Paul, has there been any more traction on being able to edit posted ticket comments? This would save a ton of time. Already submitted a feature request about this about 6 months ago. I've actually heard this a couple times now. We don't have it. I don't have an ETA on it. I do know that it's something that we've talked about. So it's a bug in our ear at this point. And then Jose, any way to monitor and get alerts on disk activity, not disk utilization, but processes killing performance because of disk activity. I've seen our users be able to use scripting to check disk activity and then alert based on whatever criteria you want. I would do that through scripting. And that's all I've got.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Carla. I have a next question here from Jake. Is there a way to whitelist or blacklist specific Windows patches? If not, do you have a recommended method for handling Windows patches? Since our queue is pretty full, I'm not going to do a huge deep dive into every possible thing that you should know about Windows patches. I actually did that a couple of months ago, and I'll drop the link into the chat box for you guys so that you can take a look and just know how all the options that you have available and how you can set up your Windows patches. So what I will show you is the 2 reports that we have available that can help you push your patches in bulk. So 2 of those, if you head over to more and your reports section, you can take a look at the missing patches by KB as well as your vulnerable system. So this is how I would push patches in bulk across multiple machines. Doesn't matter which customer, anything like that. So again, vulnerable patches report will show you, hey, this patch is missing across this many assets. And if you decide, yep, let's go ahead and push all of them, go ahead and click that, install selected, you're good to go. Same with the second report. It's kind of the inverse of that first one. It instead shows you, hey, this asset right here is missing this many patches. So maybe you want to go ahead, yep, let's go ahead and select all, push those in bulk, good to go. Or if you want to take a deeper look at, what is going on? Why is that one missing 15? Everyone else is only missing 1 or 2. You can always go over to the endpoint, tab over to the Windows patches, and then again, go ahead and select the ones that you feel comfortable pushing and install those. So I will drop the rest of the deep dive into the chat box for you. Go ahead and make sure you grab it before the session is over. Otherwise, that link will disappear. If you are looking at this in the future, those notes will be included in the description box on our YouTube channel. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So Aaron, is there a way to build a portal page or something I could use for walk-in break fix stuff where someone can fill out their info? So let me share my screen. If you go to, this is the page I want. If you actually head over to your leads module and you go to lead entry mode, you can actually throw this on like an iPad or something like that, and they can start a service ticket as they walk in. The other, like the secondary part of your question is, and this doesn't require another license, that was a question. And then also getting a signature from them. So one thing that, we don't actually, I don't think we show this super often on our demos, but I wanted to show you, this is a preference that I probably won't turn on right now, but in your ticket preferences, you can enable intake forms. So in intake forms, you can actually have signatures there. So this wouldn't necessarily be in the walk-in leads module that I just showed you, but you can enable intake forms and your customers can sign certain things and you can figure out how you want to set up those intake forms. Let's see here. When invoicing, the notes appear on the invoice. Does this also appear if I am making the reply private note? So David, no. Just be aware when you're creating your PDF and email templates, private notes will not show up if you write like ticket notes. I think you would like, I can't imagine, I don't even know if this tag is there for private notes, but if you didn't have like a private note tag here, they would not show up on the invoice customer facing. I think I have a few other ones. Let's see here. Just regarding that wave accounting, I just wanted to say, Aaron mentioned that you can do some things with wave accounting via the Zapier integration. So thought I would throw that out there as a helpful tip. I just wanted to read this out loud because it's nice. William said, I will say I moved from ConnectWise Stack Manage, Automate, Quozal to Syncro because to give clients a consistent modern billing interface, because with the previous package needed Manage, Connect, Booster, plus Desk Director, plus other tools. Syncro gives it all in one spot. So I absolutely love that. I kind of want to see if we can get that as a testimonial, William. That's awesome. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, Mark wants to know, any plans on enhancing the mobile app experience? So Mark, love to hear some more details because we are continuously adding functionality to that mobile app. So love to hear specifically what you're looking for. William wants to know, related to moving assets, I'd like to see a way to make an IP sticky and auto assign new agents to that customer by IP. Miss that dearly with Automate. Okay, happy to pass that along. I've heard that feature request before. The only thing, I mean, this is not solving what you're asking for, but I did want to know if you did have asset approval, you can auto approve assets by known IPs. Again, not specifically directed to your question, just sometimes this setting gets missed. It was added, I think, a few months ago. So just wanted to show that. I'm flying through this because we have a lot in the Q&A. Is there a report that shows assets that have not checked in for a number of days? And so what I wanted to show you, what we do have in your assets in RMM, you can actually create a saved asset search specifically for this. And I think we have one, like not checked in hasn't checked in 10 days, hasn't checked in 3 days. And what's nice is that in some of our custom reporting, you can actually pull your saved asset searches into those reports. But this is where you would need to start there. I think that's all of mine that I grabbed for now. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Crystal. I have a couple in here. So Aaron, in terms of like a demo, some use cases of system checks, I truly don't have that for you. If anyone wants to share how they're using system checks, that would be great. I know you can do like an HTTP check. You can ping a router. A lot of people would use this prior to us having SNMP monitoring. So I don't know if there's like any specific use cases that other people have. We don't necessarily have any that are already set up in our system, unfortunately. But you can do this from an asset page. Anyone who's curious, we do have system checks. So pings and HTTP checks here. And then I think I had another one in here. I'll let you guys go ahead. Just Joel. So the question about the library, it looks like Tatiana linked for doing that, the OID recipes, that isn't something that Syncro published. So I'm truly not sure there. I would assume that, and I don't even know who the user is that created that. But, if we have something in the future, if we build a library in the future, then we'll definitely make note of hyperlinking these. But I would say right now that's probably not going to be possible since we didn't create that.
Thank you so much, Brandy. I have a question here from Sandeep. Thank you for this info. With the Syncro licensing model, are we able to provide our customer and user to be able to remote into their own office computer, or is this another add-on? We use LogMeIn today to achieve this. Really good question. I get asked this daily on demos. So for those of you guys that have not again, seen the App Center, we do integrate with Screen Connect, TeamViewer, as well as Splashtop. So with Syncro, you have 4 remote access tools to choose from. We have our Syncro Live, or the other 3 that you can bring your own. A lot of times people say, why should I bring my own? This is the exact reason. If your customers need access to their own endpoints, I would set up the integration with Syncro through one of these 3. And again, for that specific functionality, our integration will not allow you to do that within Syncro. You would need to allow your end users access to their own endpoints directly through Screen Connect, TeamViewer, or Splashtop. So really the purpose of bringing these 3 is, again, anywhere that you can launch into a remote session. Once you bring one of those tools, this will now turn into a drop-down menu for you, and you can choose which tool you want to use, Syncro Live or one of the other backups. So hopefully that helps answer your question.
Thanks, Tatiana. So Samuel asks, relatively new to diving Syncro, how robust is asset tracking? Some asset tracking systems show the progression of the asset, who it was first assigned to, who it moved to, etc. for MSP-owned assets that may be reclaimed or moved around. At this time, we don't have that public facing. There is some stuff that we can see internally. So if you had a question about a specific asset or customer that you wanted to see the history on, we can get some of that. But at this point, it's not part of Syncro. We would absolutely be happy to add that as a feature request if you want to go ahead and email us in. And then Jason asked, I need to be able to set up a scheduled script for an entire policy to reboot all PCs in the policy. I can go to each PC and set up a script to reboot with the Syncro internal reboot script, but that isn't a script that's available from the policy level. That is correct. That is not available at the policy level. However, you could create your own custom script that just reboots and add that in if that's something that you want to be able to add to all policies. You do want to be careful with that because the policy is going to run its sync at the very longest every 4 hours, and it could reboot those every 4 hours if you don't put some caveats into that policy or into that script. And lastly, is there a way to customize the way an email response looks like to a customer? So I'm going to share my screen real quick here. And you can do that from, if you go into the admin, PDF, email templates, so there's the different kinds of templates that we use here, but all of our email templates are here. So as an example, if you were sending out an estimate, you can go here and edit it. And here is a preview in code of what that looks like. And you can do this for any of the emails that we set up. All of those are here and all of those are editable. You can add in your logo, take out your logo, put in anything that you like. That's all I've got.
Awesome, awesome. Next question is from Derek. Is there a way to force an update for an asset? Say, if you uninstall a program or change something and it seems to take hours or sometimes days for it to sync that data, is there something I can do to run? Or do to update? Yes, you can. Really quickly, for those of you guys that don't know, if you go to your policy and you make any changes in there, or you don't even have to make a change if you don't want to, but if you open any policy and you scroll down all the way to the bottom and save, it will force a sync of the Syncro agent. And again, this policy, for example, is applying to these 13 assets here. So if I want to update these 13 assets, scroll all the way down, go ahead and click save. And again, I'm not 100% sure if that specifically will quickly pre-fill the information that you're looking for. Again, I would test that, and if it's not working the way that you're expecting, maybe reach out to support, or maybe there's a way to force a sync a different way, but that one is the one that I like to share with users, just kind of off the top of my head, quick quick resolve. Next question is from Fabian. Is it possible to integrate an existing Bitdefender Central account from outside of the US? If it's possible, how does the integration work with Syncro? Is it possible to deploy Bitdefender agent from the Syncro agent using a script maybe? So yes, really, really good question, asked very often. If you go over to your policy, for those of you guys that are in a free trial of Syncro, you can test Bitdefender for free. So the difference here is if you're choosing to use Bitdefender through Syncro, that means you would be deploying it very easily straight here from the policy. So you would enable it here. All of these modules right here are available. These don't cost you anything extra. Web filtering is included. DNS filtering is included. So our Bitdefender offering is a really good deal. And you would be billed through Syncro for Bitdefender. You would get some alerts filtering in. You could set up some automated remediations filtered in. But really what happens is when you enable Bitdefender on the Syncro side, it will deploy and that asset will pop up in the full Bitdefender Gravity Zone portal for you. And you manage all of the settings, all of the everything that you need to from there. Separately, if you, for some reason, want to bring your own Bitdefender license and you do not want all of those things I just talked about, you could write your own script and deploy Bitdefender through here. But again, the benefit here is everything that I just discussed. I'll also pop in a quick cheat sheet for you guys on everything that's included with our Bitdefender offering through Syncro into the chat box if you guys are curious about the DNS filtering, the web filtering that comes pre-built at no extra cost for you.
Want me to go? Okay. All right. Client documentation in Syncro. What's the security like? Would you suggest limiting the type of data we put in it? Currently using Hoodoo for documentation. So let me just share my screen really quick because I do have a recommendation here. Obviously, it is going to be a little bit dependent on how you give access to your customers via their customer portal, what they can view, what they can't. So every customer portal, you can put a password protected on there, all of those things. But what I wanted to show, what I think is worth, let me just open Larry here for a second, because in documentation, if you need to store any sort of protected information, passwords, or anything like that, instead of putting it in plain text in the actual documentation page, you can add credentials to any documentation page. So this would allow encryption. And so if it is sensitive, and you want to include it in your documentation pages, add it to credentials. And again, you can make that public on the customer portal or just private to yourself. So that would be my suggestion there. Let me grab a few more. Let's see here. Can you demo how I'd set up something for an asset where it would email text me annoyingly if it goes offline? I sadly have no idea how to do that. Not sad at all. One of the things, it's a setting in really any policy. So I think a lot of times we see this on servers, right? Where if a server goes offline, I want to know right away. So being very specific in these settings. And then if you want to even go above and beyond that, then you set up automated remediation, where if this alert comes in, I want an email, I want a text, I want it to post to Slack, I want it to post to Teams. So that's how I would recommend that. Jason wants to know, can you give a quick summary of what happened to the invoice ticket status the other week and why it was removed? I used it on my ticket screen with a filter to check what tickets have been invoiced versus what was still in progress. So what I was just going to show here, I brought up a ticket. So what we did is we added a billing status to the ticket. So if I were to invoice this ticket, it would switch to invoiced, and it would show in your ticket screen, like in your ticket view, the same as invoiced. So sorry if I'm not answering your question, please let me know, but it's just basically we updated actually how that status appears in the ticket. Did I grab any? Oh, can you run a warranty report without needing warranty master? And a follow-up to that, let me clarify my question. Does Syncro show any warranty information? Unless you're populating warranty information into a custom field on an asset, no. We do have a warranty module built into the products and services. So like if you are selling a Dell computer and you sell like a 1-year warranty from your company, you can track those types of warranties, but not like software warranties without Warranty Master. Okay, I think those were all of mine.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. I have 3. I'm going to go fast. We have 2 minutes left. We got this. 2 questions are similar. Can we set up 2FA on client machines via Syncro? I mean, to a Windows 2FA login, remote login, something like Duo. Not at this time. Security is extremely important within Syncro. We do require multi-factor authentication for you and your users to access Syncro. And I'll show you that that's going to be set up on a user per user basis. If you go over to your just profile here, click into the profile and password. And again, you do multi-factor is required for your users to access Syncro. Same thing from your customer's perspective. You can turn on multi-factor authentication via the customer portal. You can do it in bulk. I'll send you a link on exactly how to set that up. I also wanted to apologize. I completely missed one of the questions surrounding Bitdefender. It was about how you can move Bitdefender to migrate Bitdefender to Syncro. We do make that as easy as possible for you guys. Again, in the App Center is where this would be. Just head over to the Bitdefender app card. The instructions are laid out there. And if you have questions on it, please do reach out to our support team. They would be the ones to assist you with that. So again, click into the Bitdefender app card. Mine looks like my piece here is missing, but yours would say, bring your own license of Bitdefender to Syncro or something along those lines. So hopefully that helps.
Thanks, Tatiana. I'm going to be super quick with this, but Fuzi, you're asking about third-party patches. I think it was in relation to another question earlier. I'm just going to show you 2 really easy ways to do this in bulk. So you can either do it from the policy itself, which I'm sure you have figured this part out, but you could go install, Chrome, Firefox, whatever on as many devices as you would like to at once. We use Chocolate's community repository. There's like thousands of apps to choose from. Another way is you could set up a saved asset search for a missing installed application. You could select those devices en masse and you could go run a script which installs those if you want to do it that way too. So just wanted to share that. And I apologize too. I've been answering some questions in the background, just typing to you guys, not trying to be impersonal, but I just want to make sure everyone gets their questions answered today.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandy. I have a question from James. Can you customize the taskbar icon installed on client machines? And yes, this is a common question, so I just want to show a couple things. The system tray icon can be customized with your logo in RMM settings. This is in the admin section, and then you just need an IO file to pull in there. And then where you enable your end user to do the different items you'd like them to do from the system tray icon is actually in the policy. It's going to be towards the bottom, but this is where you can customize your device system tray menu. You could go ahead and set up a URL. You could insert a divider. You can have an agent contact form there. That way they can open tickets with you. You can go ahead and send an email from here as well. You could even just display some text. You could execute a CMD, and then you can even have them start a live chat with you as well. And so again, on the policy itself is where you customize those options.
I will hop in really quick here with the last 2 questions, and they're super quick. One more question on Bitdefender. Do all your policies migrate over to after bringing in Bitdefender from another vendor? No, once you enable the Bitdefender integration, it just sits there. You need to add it into any policies that you would like it. And then syncing issues with QuickBooks, how do I try and fix it? David, if you go to the admin and then go to the status dashboard, there's a QuickBooks tab in there that has all of the errors. You can then, we have a document on some of the most known errors. You can go look there. If that doesn't help, please let us know in support and we'll be happy to help.
Phew. Oh my gosh, everyone, thank you so much. We got through an incredible amount of questions today. So thank you so much. Happy Friday. The recording will be posted. We flew through some questions. So if you missed anything, please catch the recording. If not, see you next week. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Carla.
You're welcome.
Bye.